videos. So today's video is about human trafficking and what exactly it is. There are so many misconceptions about what human trafficking is. People either don't know what it means or they think they know what it means. It's so much more broader than people are aware of. Um, it's definitely not educated enough or showed on the news. All these trials. I'm a huge fan of Johnny Depp, but his trial was like huge. So was the Alex Jones trial, and which they're important. The Alex Jones especially was important. But my point is that there's if there's people that are in the public eye that are famous or for whatever reason, stories like that, they make the headlines, but very rarely you ever hear about human trafficking. It's becoming a tiny bit more noticeable than it was, but not nearly what it should be. So today I'm going to go over just some definitions for you, and we'll talk about our tea for the day and our quote for the day. So stick around. I hope that you will enjoy this. Please be aware, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer on all my videos. There's talk about, there's triggering um, uh, discussions, okay? Because everything I talk about has to do with sexual violence and human trafficking, addiction, mental health. So if that's gonna be bothersome to you, please just it's okay. You don't have to watch it. Maybe you can share it with someone that you think that it could help. But other than that, I don't want to upset you. And if you need any help or support, as always, my information is below. You reach out to me anytime, okay? So uh, hopefully I'll see you guys in the comments. Okay, so today's topic is human trafficking and its definition in the broader sense. First, we'll go with my tea of the day. Now, I had this on the board when I did my welcome video, and I left it because, for one, this is my absolute favorite tea. This is what I drink most mornings, most of the time, every morning, but at least once a day. I drink tea like 3, 4 times a day. This one is my hibiscus rose hip tea. Um, I don't put sweeteners in my tea. Some people do. This one you definitely don't, because it's perfect. So I usually get mine at the bulk store because I can get it for cheap and I can get a lot more. But I will put some. I'll find some stores that are in Canada. I'll also try to find some in the States that maybe you can pick them up at any herbal store, any bulk barn, any, you can get them at grocery stores. But I like the natural stuff. I don't like it in a bag or like that. I like it just natural, and I can put it in my little ball and put it in my drink, in my hot water. So, and then my quote for the day. Again, I had this quote last week, or when I did my welcome video, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and it is so true and so important that I wanted to share it. Um, so let it not be said that I was silent when they needed me. And the author is Wilberforce. Um, we all have a voice, and whether we've been through something or not does not matter. Um, we, as a human race, it is our job to be there for each other. There is so much hate and violence in this world. Just because other people are like that doesn't mean we have to be like that. Up until 11 years ago, my life, from the time I was 6 years old until 11 years ago, you know, it was almost complete hell. And I still suffer greatly I have PTSD, I have generalized anxiety disorder, and I have social phobia disorder. But I try not to let it stop me from living my best life. Um, I still have a very difficult time being around people. Um, uh, Sometimes leaving my house is very triggering for me. Um, Older men, bigger men terrify me. And I absolutely, unequivocally cannot be around a man when he drinks. Just the smell of it not only makes me want to be sick, but it absolutely terrifies me. Um, so, like I said, I live my life the best I can, but the trauma is always going to be there. But you can't let it overrun your life. Um, so no matter what I've been through, I don't want to be filled with anger and hate, because that will just make me want to kill myself. And I've been there far too many times. There's no reason I should be alive today. And I have children, and I have adult children, I have grandchildren, but I have a 10-year-old son more than anything that needs me. Um, so I choose love. I choose to bring awareness, to spread compassion, and I hope that my videos will help other people to do the same. That if I can go through what I've been through, then there's no reason why we can't all live in a society where we can love and support each other. So, human trafficking. A lot of people think that human trafficking is where um, a young child gets kidnapped and they get taken and sold. And that is absolutely a way. Um, that's how actually um, a lot of it happens. But it's a lot broader than that. Um, a lot of people aren't aware that prostitution is human trafficking. Um, a lot of these women do it because they don't have a choice, whether it's because they have to feed an addiction, they're living on the streets, it's their way to eat. Um, a lot of them are forced into it because of pimps, and they get beaten and killed if they don't do it. Um, Another very uh, one, I would say it's the most popular way nowadays, and it is, I promise you, it is happening in your neighborhood, it is happening around your kids. And I don't want to scare you, but I do want to scare you, because you need to talk to and educate your kids about their safety. Because so many, and it's not just the internet, a lot of these kids, they find these predators through internet, but they're also in our communities. But what they do is they go into it usually happens to teenage girls. Um, this boy or man will come into their life and treat them like a frickin' princess. They'll get their nails done, their hair done. They'll buy them beautiful clothes. They'll take them to dinner, and they'll just rain love and affection and gifts on them. And even the lovemaking in the beginning is beautiful, and they feel like they're Cinderella, and they're the luckiest girl in the world because they finally found their Prince Charming. But then, after several weeks goes by, when they finally have their girlfriend wrapped around their finger, and they know that they are head over heels completely in love with this boy, man. Usually it's um, between teen and young 20s, because a lot of the times they want to look young enough so the parents don't, um, the parents still think that they're in school as well. Um, But then all of a sudden, they bring somebody home, another guy home, and this is their payback. Well, if you really love me, you'll do this. After everything that I've done for you, after all the money I've spent on you. And this is how so many young girls end up getting not only trafficked by these boys, but then a lot of them are kidnapped, and then they're sold, and then that's their life. Um, so there are so many ways. In my circumstance, the other misconception is um, a lot of women like myself get trafficked later in life when they become adults, and people are like, I don't get it. There's no excuse for that. It's her fault. Why would she do that? Why would she let it happen? Um, Let me explain that. Okay. The first time I was sexually abused, I was 6 years old. I was sexually abused all the way up until I was 15. My first rape happened, like actual rape happened when I was 16. And then throughout my life, I'd gotten married 3 times. I had children. I was raped a few times between those times, but I never got help for it. My mother never called the police. From the first time when I was 6 years old, she never once. All the times it happened, she never once called the police. I never once was nobody got me into counseling. Nobody got me help. Um, Even when I was lashing out and abusing my animals because I would love them 1 minute and then the next minute I was throwing them across the room. This was when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I was doing this. I was so angry. I was dressing up like Madonna. I had no friends at school. I was suicidal. Nobody knew because nobody cared to see this. Um, I'm going to go more into my family in other videos, but um, the point is, this was my life. This is what I thought was my life. The only thing, all I ever dreamt about since I was 8 years old was, for the longest time, all I wanted to do was to be a mother, but I didn't want a man. I just wanted to be a single mother with a little boy that I could raise, that we could protect each other and be best friends. And that's all I ever wanted. And then once I got older, I would say in my teens, I started dreaming about a love that just doesn't exist. At least I don't think it does. I mean, you never know. A lot of people find their soulmates, but for me, I literally looked for love wherever I could find it. When I wasn't being abused or raped, I was giving my body to any boy that wanted it. Just, even though I knew they were going to use me, it was just being cared about for that moment, even if it wasn't for me and it was just for my body, being held, being kissed, feeling safe for those few seconds. I lived for that. I lived for attention. And my cries for help never went answered. They just went unanswered my whole life. And then when I was in my 30s, I had already become a full-blown addict. I was living on the streets, bouncing around to crack houses and friends' homes. And I met a man that was very well known in London, Ontario. He was very respected, but not in a good way. He was a very dangerous man. Um, People called him, well, a couple of people in town called him the Godfather to the Jamaican Mafia, which I don't ever believe that was the case, but um, that's the kind of man he was. He had a lot of connections, a lot of money, and he took me in, and he said, "This is not you, baby." Um, you need to, my kids, I got separated from my kids, and they were in Florida, and I was here in Canada. And he said, "This isn't you. I know the girls on the streets here, and you're not meant to be here. Um, you need to be home to your kids, and I want to help you." And he did. He helped me with my drug problem by giving me drugs, a lot of it, so I wouldn't go sick. Um, and he wanted to help get me into school and to get a good job and to help teach me how to save money, because I never learned how to budget. I never learned how to do the normal things that other people learn, like everyday things. I was never taught that, because my whole life I was just a loner. Um, and my mother was all about her restaurant and her husband and her money, and especially her looks. Um, and us kids were just kind of left to fend for ourselves. And in my case, left to be a toy for any boy or man that came along. So, um, again, after a while, this man treated me like gold, gave me money, gave me all the pills and drugs I needed to, and like just gave me work to do, not the kind of work you're thinking, um, selling drugs and doing things like that for him, cleaning his house, whatever. But he was really good to me. Um, and then one day he said, I have to go on an errand, so please come with me. We usually went everywhere together anyways. Um, so I went in, went to this house, and I figured it was just probably one of his deals. One of it, like, he wasn't just a drug dealer. Like, he never did drugs ever, ever, ever. He didn't drink, nothing like that. He was totally clean. He just made a shit ton of money because he didn't do it. But he also had a lot of businesses. Like, he had a lot of investments in other restaurants and people, and just he was a rich man. Anyways, we went to this person's house, and I figured they were doing a deal. And his daughter, a little girl, was sitting on the floor playing. And DJ, stop! Sorry, my kitty's scratching on my chair. Um, so, in thinking of my own daughters, I went down and sat and introduced myself and started playing with her. About a half hour went by, and the guys came out, and the father ushered the daughter upstairs so that we had to talk business. And um, the the man came out first, and he sat on the couch, and he unzipped his pants and pulled out his penis. Um, and my trafficker ushered me to get down. And I'm not going to get into this right now. I have explained some of my past videos. Um, I'll do that in another video. I don't want this video to be too triggering or anything like that for anybody. Um, and again, it'll be in my book. And I will share certain events of my life, but I just don't want to go into too much detail, because I don't want to trigger anybody. Um, but that was the first time that he sold me. I would say the second and third time were probably the worst um, of my entire life. They were very brutal and very painful. Um, but that's how it began. And then it went on that for like that for some time until I was able to escape, which I will also share in another video. But this is how it happens for a lot of women, a lot of young women especially. So You know, I've had a couple of people ask me, you know, then how do you know? How do you know if your Prince Charming is really your Prince Charming? And there are signs. Um, I'm going to do a video specifically on that, but it's important that you find out as much as you can about this person, especially if they're dating your daughter, your sister, niece, whatever. Do background checks. They don't always have criminal records, but do a criminal record. Uh, you know, look on their social media, all their social media pages. Get to know their friends. I mean, find out as much about them as you can. And most importantly, you need to talk to your children. So many kids spend so much time on the internet because they don't talk. Their parents don't have enough communication with them. You need to talk to your kids a lot and know what's going on so they don't have to be secretive online. And it's not invading their privacy, it's keeping them safe. So you do need to check to see what they are doing online so you know they're safe. Would you rather them be mad at you because you're being nosy and trying to protect them than one day they get kidnapped, taken, trafficked, whatever the case may be, and then you find out that you didn't know all this time what they were doing online because you were too embarrassed to look, or you were worried they'd get upset, or you thought you were invading their privacy? You know what? I'd rather my kids be pissed at me and us work on our relationship than them be gone and have to go through what I went through. So please, talk to your kids. So I didn't expect the video to be this long. I apologize for that, but I really want to try to be as detailed as I can in my videos. If you have any questions, please either leave them in the comments, or if you feel safer, you can email them to me directly. My links and my email are always below. If you need help with anything, any kind of support, and you can't find it where you live, email me and I will help you find something in your community. I am here for anybody that needs to talk at any time, okay? So I hope that this was educational for you. I hope it wasn't too triggering. Please like, please subscribe. I will have a video every week. Sometimes if I can, I'll upload a couple, but definitely once a week. And we'll have new teas every week and a different quote every week. And these videos will definitely be more consistent than the last ones. Ever since COVID, it's been a really rough time, I think, for everybody. But now that I'm back on track. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Be safe, be well, look out for your neighbors and each other, and just love. No more violence, no more hate, just love.